Hey, what's up, Caps fans? This is Justin and Pat here from Caps Goal Line Reviews, and we're here tonight to talk about the third week of the regular season, also known as the Caps Western Canada road trip. So the Caps went 3-1 on this road trip. The only loss coming against Edmonton, which was also their first game of the road trip. If you guys remember last season, they also did pretty well on the road trip. They were 3-0. They didn't play against the Jets during that road trip, but that was also early in the season. So let's start with the Edmonton Oilers game.
Yeah, I thought with Edmonton, I thought we started out okay. Didn't really finish the first period that well, but it was 0-0 going into the second period, and the second period's been kind of a little tough period for us all year.
Yeah. So the one thing that a lot of analysts were talking about as far as Edmonton goes, aside from their hot start, the hottest start that they've had in over a decade,
Yeah.
was the fact that they've got a lot of speed on their first two lines, and we definitely saw that. And we knew that coming into the game. We knew that our blue liners were going to have to pick it up, step up the speed, disrupt plays before they could have the chance to happen. But with the Oilers, it just didn't go our way.
No, it didn't. I thought, at the start of the third period, we got a goal. I think it was like 9 seconds in, and cut their lead 2-1. And I thought we had a little bit of momentum, but that momentum was lost. We didn't bring our A game. It just looked to me like, we were certainly not on our game. We struggled throughout. We struggled in all three zones. Not our best game. I don't know if it was the effort. I don't know if it's the fact that, they went out there for the road trip. I don't know if it was the Edmonton speed. But to be honest with you, I was happy to see that game behind us.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely one that they had to put past them if they wanted to do well in the rest of the road trip. One thing I noticed about that game is none of the goals that Edmonton got were straight up goals. They were either rebounds or deflections. And two of their goals were from bad offensive zone turnovers. They were projected passes, and they've got quick guys to jump the gun as soon as they see the puck going across the ice, and they capitalized on it, and we couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, Edmonton's speed is serving them well this year. We'll see how long it lasts. They're a very good team, much better than they've been in years past, and now with McClellan running the show over there. I think that they're starting to respond to him. So that's a team to watch out west going forward.
Absolutely. We'll see if they make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I mean, they might well do it. I predicted it. You can't just draft as low as they are and then, or as high as they are, and not get good at some point. So that team's got a lot of young talent. So we'll see where it goes. Then we go off to Vancouver, and it was a different story.
Oh, absolutely. The Caps came out. They came out and out hustled Vancouver. And as far as all the games go, this was probably the second best that they played. They let up a little bit in the second period, but the first and third period was all Washington.
Yeah, you know what I liked about this game? Tom Wilson finally got a goal. I think he looked pretty good in this game. That was good, very good to see. Again, Marcus Johansson.
Yeah,
the guy's on fire. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's the leading point producer on the Caps by 5 points right now. He's got 11. I want to say it's 6 goals and 5 assists, and 5 of those goals came in the last 3 games. 2 of which were power play goals. He's scoring. I mean, all the goals he's scoring are coming from within 15 feet of the crease. If you saw both of his power play goals, one was a rebound and one was a tip-in.
Yeah, Marcus Johansson's not going to score 50 goals, but he's on that pace right now. But I really like it. It's like found money when this guy's turned on and getting the job done. And right now he's doing it. And he's our best player right now.
He absolutely is. Positionally, he's playing the best he's ever played. He's kind of taking over that spot in front of the net that used to be occupied by guys like Joel Ward and Troy Brouwer and occasionally this season TJ Oshie. But he's making it work there, and it's good to see because you like to see the guys, especially the guys that were taken to arbitration the last 2 or almost taken to arbitration this past summer, but taken to arbitration the years prior to actually do well.
Yeah, and they've been contract years, and contract years have been known to motivate. But what's different about this year? I don't know. Maybe it's the work he did during the offseason, but the guy's he's like a new hockey player right now, and that's fantastic for the Caps.
Yeah. So after the Vancouver game, the Caps traveled a short distance to get to Calgary. This was by far the best game, I think, for the Caps in the entire road trip.
Agreed.
They put together a full 60-minute game. They shut down the guys that they were supposed to shut down, Monahan, Johnny Hockey. Neither of them were able to do anything. I don't think Gaudreau got a shot until like the middle of the third period.
Yeah, and another thing, like the Vancouver game with Wilson, we saw Brett Connolly get his first goal as a Cap. That was great to see. Kind of like what this guy's been doing. Not necessarily, scoring that particular goal. I like his play away from the puck. I like some of the things he's doing on the forecheck. Brett Connolly has certainly impressed me over the last few games.
He has, and I mean, part of it is the fact that. So Brett Connolly, drafted 6th overall in the 2010 NHL entry draft. Regarded as kind of a draft bust, he did not produce as much as Boston thought he would. But at the same time, maybe it was what they were trying to do with him. I mean, we're not trying to do anything special with the guy. We're just trying to have him around as like a big presence out there on the ice. He's kind of a not a shutdown player, but he's a good guy to have in front of the net in the offensive zone. And I mean, we see him filling that position in our team very well.
Yeah, Brett Connolly is one of those guys who I think is just trying to jumpstart his career a little bit. And, so far I like what I'm seeing. I'm sure Coach Trotz likes it. He should pay dividends for the Caps going down the line. So it'll be interesting to see, how he plays the next several games.
Absolutely. And Mojo got another 2-goal night.
Oh, my God.
in Calgary. He's one of the biggest reasons I think we won that game.
Mr. Mojo Rising.
Can't really say enough about him during this road trip. So to cap it all off, the Caps made the trip halfway back to Washington and made their stop in Winnipeg for the first of 2 games against the Jets. So yeah, the first 2 periods were pretty good, weren't they?
They were great, and we had a big lapse for about 5 minutes and gave up 2 goals, I think in about 4.5 minutes, to allow Winnipeg to tie it up. And they had all the momentum. They had the crowd behind them. Again, the Caps go out, and I think Carl Alsner got us started.
He did. It was his first of the season, and it was, was that his first or his second?
Second.
That was his second of the season.
Yep.
Look at him. He's on fire.
Yeah.
Carl Alsner, he scores to start things off for the Caps. But I think the biggest thing for this game wasn't our point generation, but it was the fact that in this game in particular, I think what the Caps did the best in the entire road trip was they were able to clear the net. They didn't allow a second shot most of the time. I mean, that changed later in the game. But if you saw the shots on net, you would think it was an entirely different game. We got outshot 45-27. And right now, going into that game at least, because I don't know how much the average has changed, but we had the least shots allowed against in the entire league, sitting at 25. So they beat that average by 20. But if you notice about that stat for that game, almost all of the Jets shots came from the perimeter.
They were not quality shots.
They were not quality shots at all. And they went straight into Holtby. Holtby had a line of sight on the puck the entire way.
He was able to see them. He was able to grab them, control the rebounds. That wasn't an issue. Breakdowns, though, in the third period for a stretch of about 5 minutes really cost us. It got Winnipeg back in the game. Again, they had all the momentum, and then Jay Beagle.
Yeah. With 30 seconds to go.
30 seconds on the button.
It was remarkable, and that play was pure hustle on Beagle's end. I can't stress this enough, like how like good of a grit player Jay Beagle is. He's quick, he's fast, he's strong on his skates, and in this play in particular, he did not give up on the puck, and he ended up getting a shot that just it went in. I think it was on the ice.
It was a backhand. It was just inside the pipe. It was right along the ice. I'll tell you, and I said it before and I'll say it again, if you don't think Jay Beagle is a good player, you don't know hockey. That guy can bring it. Yes, he's not a top-line guy. He's not a top-2-line guy, but he can get it done. He's a third, fourth-line guy, but he gets it done. He hustles. He'll out-hustle just about and outwork just about anybody on the ice, and that is the type of player that can grab that one moment and change a game, and he did that last night.
He absolutely did. He's the best depth player we have by far. He's probably one of the best depth players in the league. But so the Caps, they come home from the 4-game road trip with 6 points. You can't really complain with that.
No, a 3-1 West Coast or Western Canada road trip, very good. You'll take that every time. So It was a successful trip, but there's one thing that in the back of my mind, we've got this rematch now coming up with Winnipeg, and right at the end of that game, Mark Scheifele takes a cheap shot at Beagle. It was a cross check and a spear,
yeah.
And that's something to keep an eye on as we start this next game. It would not surprise me to see Willie or somebody go after him, whether that can't be allowed to stand.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough game, and this is one of those games, and I don't say this often, but the fans are going to be a big part. They're going to be a crucial role in this rematch. I say that primarily because against the Jets, the Jets fans, they were the seventh man on the ice. I think that was one of the reasons that the Jets were able to tie it up before the game ended.
Yes.
But so the Caps, they take on the Jets tomorrow night, Thursday at home, and hopefully we come out with another win.
Now, we didn't have a Caps recap last week, and that's because my grandfather and Justin's great-grandfather, we'll call him Big Mo, his nickname was Mo, passed away. He was an avid Caps fan. He actually liked all the Washington sports teams, Redskins, the Nationals, the Capitals, the Wizards, and he died peacefully in his sleep last Wednesday on October 26th. A great man, almost 95 years old. He will sorely, we love him to death. We will sorely miss him. So we'll dedicate this segment to him, and certainly, hopefully, the Caps will win one, and he can watch from up there.
Yep. So, until next time,
let's go Caps.